Today we're going to take a look at the third type of conic section, which is a hyperbola. Okay, so we see a hyperbola graphed off to the right, and it kind of looks like two parabolas, but mirror imaged. So let's see what the formal definition of a hyperbola is. All right, a hyperbola is a set of all points in a plane such that the absolute value of the difference of the distances from any point on the hyperbola to the two given points, or the focus points, the foci, is constant. Okay, so what does that mean? That means the absolute value of two distances, d1 and d2, if I subtract them and find their absolute value, it has to equal some constant number. Okay. So the graph that you see to the right here, that's a hyperbola that has two focus points. The foci are at 0, 8, and 0, negative 8. Right? The absolute value of the differences between the distances from the focus points to any other point on the hyperbola is going to be 14 units. So we're going to use that 14 units in a minute. But where is this other point? We keep talking about distance between the foci and a point. So we need to pick a point somewhere on the hyperbola. I'm going to pick the point over here. I'm going to call that point P. Now I could put that point anywhere on the upper curve. I could have put it down here on the lower curve if I wanted to. I could have put it over here as well. I could put it anywhere on the actual hyperbola lines, okay? But I'm going to go with that top right corner. And then I have a line connecting the focus point to that point. I'm going to call that D1. And then I'm going to go from the point down to the other focus point, like this. I'm going to call that distance 2, D2. And what we're saying is for this particular graph, the absolute value of the difference between distance 1 and distance 2 is equal to 14 units. Okay? Now we can use that to figure out the equation of this particular hyperbola. Now on the next video, we're going to go through how do we actually use this definition to write an equation. We'll never be required to reproduce that process in this particular course, but it's good to see how it's done so that we understand where this equation is coming from and why it has the setup that it does. All right, I'll see you in the next video to go over how to write the equation from the definition.